Yep. Hello. I know AI that the problem, man, that you stop the blame AI. Comment till give me a minute. Mm-hmm. I don't know why people like to blame AI. Artificial intelligence is a matter of facing the music. You know, question. I got a question for you. And it's simply this. It's this. Are these man-made gadgets known as artificial intelligence? For example, the Google lady, Karen Jacobson, famous for giving direction. Are these gadgets smarter than you? Huh? Fair. And in this case, to my mind, it comes from ignorance. This fear of artificial intelligence can be a killer for people like you, maybe, who fail to recognize that AI, artificial intelligence, is man-made and therefore cannot be smarter than human beings who created it. Human beings are the only creatures that are beings. You got Picari, you got Rottweiler, you got all kind of creature. But you are one being. You know how to be, how you think, how you feel, how you experience life. Yeah? You, as a human being, are created without a ceiling. Only species able to elevate beyond compulsive behavior and consciously make choices as well as grow and expand limitlessly. You are uniquely made, created. It would behoove you to ask a cow what it wants to be, wouldn't it? And it is important for you to understand, rather overstand, that intelligence, as in your own mind, is more than an intellectual process. I don't know if you understand that. And that although these man-made computers and telephones have better memory and computer processes, AI only uses the intellect, booty, which is only one of the four branches of the mind. Yeah? AI is therefore one-dimensional, a one-dimensional process. The strength of AI, this artificial intelligence, is on the logical side of your brain. Yeah? How you see, how you feel, how you, yeah, how you smell, this, that, the five common senses. That is the logical side of you, which is also known as booty. As you should know, logic works by making comparison. Yeah. I believe most everyone wants his or her intellect to be sharp, like a scalpel or a very sharp knife. And so if you want your intellect to be sharp, then you need a steady hand to hold it with, man. You will be in the handler. As a tool, the intellect is only a survival instrument. Of a basic survival, man. Like in the jungle, out there in the wild, survival of the fittest. Where you're using five common senses. The dog uses it, they only work on the reptilian brain, That's all you need for that. Boundary setting. Me, my, I. A dog uses it to pee on every down like post to establish his speaking kingdom. So I'm saying, as a tool, intellect is only a survival instrument, which is good for dissecting. That's what logic does, dissect. But it's not effective when it comes to stitching up things, putting a relationship, getting into a relationship, i.e. relationship with God. Get to know through experience only, without the damn need for any understanding. Now that's how you know, hypothetically, how you know a prostitute. And that is perfectly legal knowledge as well as spiritual knowledge. You know her by experience only without any damn need for understanding. Now, just about everything modern science does, in this day and age, it does by dissecting. Have to understand this, have a reason this, such as frags, where they cut up the frag in the lab, in the laboratory. What they come out with, they know the physical and material aspects only of that frag and the given subject. One of the problems with this scientific approach, my friend, exclusively, is that once you dissect the bloody frag, you no longer have it. You can't have a relationship with it. You can't. So you know the material aspects. You know the physical. This is our leg, this is our wing, this is our arm, yeah. This is our toe. But you no longer have the frag to have a relationship with it. You see, Booty, the intellect is data-driven. It's only as good as the memory you put into it. But the memory itself is another branch of your mind. Did you know? So, yeah, any information that can be compiled, processed, analyzed, entered into a database, AI, artificial intelligence, will be able to mass produce it more efficiently and expeditiously than any number of employees. Take that to the bank. So unless you want to be replaced by AI, don't settle for any kind of education there, UB or Galen or where have you, that only does that. Data-driven processes, compile, process, analyze. That's a book smart. But when confronted with real-life situation, you're lost. I like them people from the rural. Yeah. If one tire gone flat, they know what to do. If one cow get away or one hat get out of the pen, they know what to do. When I was raised in the 60s, well, I don't like the word raised, but that happened. We are supposed to be nurtured. You only raise cattle, man. Anyway, we used to learn surgery, We push your finger up the chicken backside to see if your leg, and if your leg, we keep finding the cup. Yeah, at least scientific approach. That is the people from the rural, man. They know the hands-on. They could help themselves. But then when you're in the suburbs, oh my, I don't want to say nothing. I wipe my mouth. AI being only one branch of your mind. And as I said before, it cannot work without data. It is data-driven. The data comes from another branch of the mind, which is Ankara, the identity, the ID badge on the wear. So the intellect, Booty, is a very sharp knife, likened to a very sharp knife or scalpel. Ankara is the hand holding it. You need a steady hand, the data that you enter into it. In using a sharp knife, one needs a steady hand to hold it. Otherwise, you'll cut yourself, man. You will cut yourself, my friend. Whatever you identify with, whether it be your country, flag, constitution, anthem, family, church, organization, and the like, your intellect operates only around that, only around that data which you enter into your head. And it function, Ankara function around it to protect it. Yeah? That's why when people talk this way, they say, I'm willing to die for what I believe. They're also saying, I'm willing to kill if needs be. Yes, exactly. Dangerous. Dangerous. Hmm? Look, conflict starts in the individual, you know. It's when the individual does not resolve the conflict within him or himself, then they take it outside. Wars, conflicts don't start out there. They start with the individual. That's good and evil. This is not about good and evil. No, evil is a concept created out there by religious organizations. God made everything good. I've been saying that thing. Now, how you use it? So, yeah, inferably, when you say I'm willing to die for what I believe, you're inferring that you're willing to kill if needs be. Hence the reason it's best for you to put a safe distance, yeah, a safe distance between yourself and these identities that you form, and establish then a universal identity. For God is one and the universe is one energy. When I look at a person, I see him or her as forming part of myself with my universal identity. Yeah. One thing for that person is same things I want for myself. Nothing more, nothing less. The moment you start to think this way and talk this way, this is me, that is you. Then you know what? What my share must be bigger than your share. What I am must be bigger than who you are. God is one and the universe is one energy. And whereas you can say this is my body and mind, who can say this is my life? Which one of you out there? Life is a shared commodity, shared with all other living creatures and things. Nobody can say this is my life. You only could say this is my body and mind. For example, we breathe in the oxygen from the trees and they benefit from the carbon dioxide that we exhale. Now fool yourself, man. Whenever you enter a classroom today, in the days gone by and even today, you hear the teacher, first thing he does a quote unquote. The teacher is quoting some author instead of sharing life from life or his or her life experience. So the education most professors have is data-driven, or they have received is data-driven, and unless they make serious adjustments, they will be replaced by AI. It's just a matter of time. It's already happening. So there's a third branch of the mind, other than the intellect, booty, and the data you enter in there, Ankara, which are the identities that you form, that this function around, the intellect function around. It's only as good as the data you put in there. There's a third branch of the mind, which is manas, a huge silo of memory, a huge silo. Yeah? I'll run it down for you. You don't worry about it. I got you. So you have elemental memory, refers to the 5 elements which the body comprises: water, air, space, and fire. Look, you comprise the same 5 elements like the universe, the created universe. And in a similar quantities, 72% water, 12% earth, 6% air, 6% space, and 4% fire. Atomic. Atomic memory refers to the atoms of memory spanning your entire body, your entire system. You're made of atoms, my friend. Genetic memory, that which you inherited. Yeah, it comes naturally to you through your parents, inherited through your parents and those gone before. Genetic memory has a significant level of influence over a person up to the age of 21. After 21, the genetic memory becomes less dominant, i.e., children want to come into their own by then, you know. Look, children come in different and apart from their parents. After age 21, 90% of what the other creatures are in their lifetime, they come fixed. But human beings only come 10% fixed, 90% changeable. up to at least up to age 21. You can influence them heavily. Through nurturing, though. Not raising like cattle, man. You only raise cattle. Create a nurturing environment, conducive, where you inspire your children. Then you have karmic memory. The karmic influence increases in a person after age 21. As the genetic influence decreases, the body, mind, emotion, and energy do their own karma, whether in wakefulness or sleep. Take wakefulness, for example. From the time you wake up, your body is doing its own physical karma, you know. It's an automatic pilot. The mind is doing its mental karma, you know, automatic pilot. Emotion is doing its emotional karma. Energy doing its energy karma. Seeing karma, which means choices, as your responsibility is the key, is your key to freeing up yourself. Consciously breathe, man. Consciously do things. Not compulsive like you're out there in the wild, like the Picere. Hello. You have to do things consciously, my friend, and not out of compulsion in thought and behavior. The basis of karma is realizing that you are the source of all your baggage, all the backside where it happened to you. You're the carryover, one of the generational curse, not someone else or the environment. The basis of karma is realizing that you are the source of your baggage. Stop to blame people. Yeah. In the environment. Or God. They do that thing and they blame God or the devil. They got that style. In seeing yourself as a source, you are then able to create the emotions that you want. Yeah. The way you think, the way you feel. I mean, look. In your body, energy system, thought, and emotion. Create what you want so as to center yourself, bring yourself into balance. So you'll be still and stable like a mountain. Karmic memory causes people to happen automatically. For example, they don't have to think how to eat. Do you have to think how to eat? Given they have this memory in their system, they don't have to think to do a lot of other things because so many things happen automatically. Like a spider in creating a web, a human being creates an elaborate system, of memory through which she contours him or herself. So although other people may get entangled in your system, you know your way around it. Then you have conscious memory, which has to do with actions that people consciously perform, i.e. you yourself, with your karma, the amount being below 1%. The amount of thing you consciously do by yourself is below 1%. Sad. Most people I'm talking. You they happen, man. You they happen automatically. You know the do. You know the do at time. You they happen. Automatic. You the automatic, man. Then you have unconscious memory, which has to do with the actions that your body performs, although you may be unconscious of it. Then you have articulate memory, which refers to your ability to recall information. The same way you try to bring precision in your body, do the same thing in your mind. For that is the way to get clarity. You have to stop to thinking. Did you know that thinking is an activity? If your mind is consciously happening, you are not in control of your mind. Your thoughts are telling you what to do. Hello. As you study and examine things, do them with precision. Then you have inarticulate memory. Inarticulate memory is difficult to put into words, such as that which you experience. I don't like think Catholic or some of them evangelical when they're talking at tongues. There are things of a spiritual nature, you see, which has no defined boundary. Then you have evolutionary memory. that which evolve over time through stages of memory, i.e., you have this kind of body given evolutionary and genetic memory. Yeah, you evolve. You used to hear it bad. You used to look a certain way, but now you're refined. Human beings look refined now. What a true evolution. The DNA difference between a human being and a chimpanzee is only 1.2, between 1.2 and 4%. Take that to the bank. And then you have sensory memory, which refers to the memory you gather through your 5 common senses: hearing, smelling, tasting, seeing, and touching. What you see and touch being the deepest forms of your memory. Let's bring this thing to a wrap. So you have those 3 branches. I just discussed manners, the huge silo of memory. Earlier we discussed, the intellect. Then we got into where you load into it, the data, right? And Kara, the ID badge right away. Now we discussed the manners, the huge silo of memory, and then you have the 4th branch of the mind. Now this leads us to the 4th branch, cheetah, an intelligence that is void of memory. Yeah, this is how this work with your consciousness and awareness. How you know you're there? How you know you're alive? Because you're conscious and aware of it. How you know you exist? Because you're conscious and aware of it. Therefore, whereas everybody is conscious to varying degrees, not everybody fully conscious. One only becomes fully conscious and aware, not by striving. You don't strive to become fully conscious and aware, but by turning up the voltage within yourself. Something a person can only do by adopting a universal identity. Look, light reveals everything. If there are 100 people in the room and you only say 5, you turn up the voltage, man. You turn up the voltage sufficient and you will see the 100% in that room. To where you don't even have to focus. You only have to pay keen attention. Like a light bulb, as you turn up the voltage, whereas you may only have been seeing a percentage of the people present in that room, as you turn up the voltage sufficiently, you'll then be able to see 100%, because with illumination and enlightenment, there'll be sufficient lighting. You need not focus. You only need to pay keen attention. In order to know, you first have to perceive. It has to enter into your awareness. And there are only 2 ways that you perceive, my friend. Only 2 ways. One is through logic, where you need reasoning and understanding. And the other one is through a relationship by experience, how you know God, how you would hypothetically know a prostitute, how you know yourself, the nature of your own existence, how you think, how you feel, and how you experience life. The only 2 ways of perception, but before you know anything, you have to first be able to perceive it. Knowledge, like I said, either comes through logic, which works with the sun, or by intuition, either which works with the moon. Artificial intelligence is only one-dimensional. It is one-dimensional and only uses the logical side of you, only the logical side, the side that works by making comparisons, and acquires knowledge through cause and effect reasoning and requiring understanding. Logic needs memory for it to work. Where AI is dumb is when it comes to experience, life experience. You can't duplicate that. Hello, you are a one-of-a-kind human being. There's none like you. You are an individual and as such indivisible. Look, if you tell me anybody else live inside of you, like you said, God in you, how ridiculous can that be? You saying anybody else inside of you, you're either schizophrenic or demon possessed. Only you could live inside of you. You're a spirit being at the core. You come like an onion with 5 layers, one inside the other. At the outermost, you're physical. Within that, you're mental. Within that, your energy body. Within that, your transient body. That's the ghost most people see when they fail to properly dispose of the human remains of their deceased relatives and so on. And then inside of that is your core. You are a spirit being. You only became, you only came into being when with the breath of God. You are God breathed. And spirit is non-physical, obviously. So anyway, let's bring this to a wrap. Intuition, on the other hand, is a shortcut methodology because, with intuition, you don't go through all these steps you do in logic, but you arrive at a similar conclusion as logic would. You can know a prostitute legally and brutally by having a one-night stand without having to understand a darn thing. And it is the same way you know God, through experience only, the experience of a relationship. After all, God is a spirit. How can you know God through logic? Beat your head for me. There is no way you can know God through logic. God's not going to define boundary. Spirit not got boundary, my friend. It's boundless. Space, emptiness, darkness. No limitation, none at all. God is a spirit you cannot see. So the only way you can have a relationship, you can know God, is through a relationship, the experience of a relationship. Yeah, that you have to surrender to. It's a process you have to surrender to because you can't get there through logic. So surrender in spirituality is not a weak concept by any stretch of the imagination. You can only surrender to such a process. So in conclusion, the thing that is shortchanged in education today, to this day, in these colonial countries like Belize and elsewhere in the world, is real life situations, real life experience. Go out there today on this Good Friday, whatever Friday it is. Every Friday is good for me. And making some memorable experiences. That's what life is supposed to be about. You're supposed to live with intensity, intense on the inside, full energy pack, and relax on the outside. When I say intense, not tense. Some people, when you tell them intense, they think that tense and get tense up. No! Intense, meaning as if though this were going to be your last day. Don't leave anything to chance. Do everything that you must do. Keep a clean account. Do it as if though you have no tomorrow. And on the outside, relax. Yeah, relax like one cobra. Not lax now, relax. Yeah, that's the weakness of AI. It can't duplicate real life experience. It doesn't, it's that. And that's how it will always be. After all, AI is man-made. It relies on data that the memorized data. Man, look at when we grow up. This thing used to sweet me, no? We never have it in a garden when I'm in the grow up. I tell you about, primary school and so. Then you start to go to Wali church. Memorize this verse here. And I think the smartest person are the one who memorize the most. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Can you analyze? Can you put it together? Can you conceptualize? And then they tell you that the smartest one. How foolish can they be? If you know the out there and teacher when they listen to me, I hope all of them mostly dead already. You don't have a change in the methodology, man, and understanding about education. That's not the PhD, my friend. That's the quality. Hello? The quality of the education. Huh? Application, if you just got book smart, book knowledge, and you can't go there, go put the thing together. No hands-on. You're weak. You're weak. You're a weakling. You'll be duplicated very easily by AI. Life is real, not artificial. God is real, not artificial. And so are you, I hope. Light on psychology, no? Look, the worst thing that you can do is to lie to yourself. Look into a plain mirror, man. You don't need to be either optimistic or pessimistic. Just be a realist. Be realistic. Life and reality is what comes naturally. If you have to invent it, then it's a story or a lie. Life is an expedition, and your intellect is your tool for exploration. If you wear anchor are you in religion? How can you set sail? If you don't set sail, how can you explore? Your intellect wants to know, you do not believe. I don't believe a damn thing until in end time experience. I neither believe nor disbelieve. But I wait until the end time experience. I am not a believer by any stretch. I am a seeker of truth. Fear of artificial intelligence can be a killer for people who fail to recognize that AI is man-made, and therefore AI cannot be smarter than you, my friend. Let it be so. Itawala tiaga. Kaya sisaya. Ayo. Make we go. We gone. Tired.